First contender to braid the black chair tonight is Michael Ward, a civil servant from Manchester. His specialist subject, the band Radiohead. Next, Pamela Cully, a charity worker from Preston. She's answering questions on the writer Alison Utley. Andrew Craig is a copy editor from Wiltshire. His subject, Field Marshal Montgomery. Next, Ross May, a supervisor from Weston-super-Mare, on the films of Powell and Pressburger. And Stephen Mark Rose, a barrister from London. His subject, the composer Herbert Howells. Hello and welcome to the Mastermind semi-final, one of the 6 before the grand final, and whoever wins tonight will be there, with a very strong chance of becoming the nation's mastermind. The rules change slightly because we have 5 instead of 4 contenders, just 90 seconds for their specialist subject and 2 minutes of general knowledge questions. So let's get on with it and ask our first contender to join us, please. And your name is?
Michael Ward.
Your occupation?
Civil servant.
And your chosen subject?
Radiohead.
Radiohead in 90 seconds. Here we go. What is the name of the band's 8th studio album, released in 2011? It has 8 tracks. It's only 37 minutes long.
King of Limbs.
Yep. What's the title of the free newspaper Radiohead produced to promote the King of Limbs? It was given away at more than 60 locations around the world.
Universal Sigh.
Yes. In which country was the band's debut single Creep a massive hit after it was played there repeatedly by the respected broadcaster Yoav Kutner?
Israel.
Yep. Paranoid Android is the band's most successful UK single. What 3 words complete the lines, ambition makes you look pretty ugly, kicking, screaming?
Gucci Little Piggy.
Yes. What was the original title of the song Planet Telex? The band were not allowed to use it because it contained a brand name.
Oh, Planet Xerox.
Yep. What novel approach did the band take to the pricing of their 7th album, In Rainbows, when it was first released as a digital download in 2007?
Pay What You Want.
Yep. The band were originally called On a Friday and changed their name to Radiohead after a track on a 1986 Talking Heads album. Which album?
77.
No, True Stories. The song Exit Music for a Film was commissioned for a 1996 film version of Romeo and Juliet. Who was the director?
Baz Luhrmann.
Yep. What's the name of the EP that was Radiohead's first release on the Parlophone EMI label?
Drill.
Yeah. Life in a Glasshouse from the album Amnesiac features a jazz band led by which British musician?
Humphrey Lyttelton.
Yes. What is the name of the first single released from the album A Moon-Shaped Pool? It was accompanied by a controversial stop-motion animated music video.
Burn the Witch.
Yep. And we're out of time. No passes, Michael. You have 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Pamela Cully.
Your occupation?
Charity worker.
And your chosen subject?
Alison Utley.
Alison Utley, the writer, in 90 seconds. In The Country Child by the writer and children's author Alison Utley, what dialect names given to the band of mummers who visit the Garland family on Christmas Eve singing and asking each other riddles?
Geezers.
Yeah. Which book, published in 1941, is a sequel to The Country Child and continues the story of Susan Garland?
The Farm on the Hill.
Yeah. In A Traveller in Time, when Penelope tells Francis Babington that Mary Queen of Scots was executed in 1587, he asks if she's a soothsayer who can see the future. What year does he say they're in?
1582.
Yes, in a diary entry of 1943, Utley writes about a woman she saw ogling a fishmonger. She describes her false teeth, her red lips, her head on one side as she gazed up close to him. Who was the woman?
Enid Blyton.
Yes. What breed of dog was Macduff, the title character of a 1950 book by Utley?
Scotty.
Yep, Scottish Terrier. What was Utley's last series of children's books, the first of which appeared in 1954?
The Little Brown Mouse.
The Little Red Fox books. Who drew the first published illustrations for the Little Grey Rabbits books? Utley had an uneasy relationship with her.
Margaret Tempest.
Yep. The television programme Jack and Ori featured readings of many of Utley's stories during the 60s. Whose telling of the Sam Pig stories does she particularly praise in her diary?
Dandy Nichols.
Yep. In 1903, Utley won a scholarship to Owens College, which later became part of Manchester University. In what subject did she graduate?
Physics honours.
Yep. In The Country Horde, whose arrival at haymaking time is heralded by the trumpets of Foxglove and the horns of honeysuckle?
The Irishman.
Yep. Utley's husband, James, committed suicide in 1930. According to her diaries, what was her pet name for him? Take a guess, you're out of time.
Bimbo.
It was Little Bimbo, yes, we'll accept Bimbo. No passes, Pamela, you have 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Andrew Craig,
Your occupation?
copy editor.
And your chosen subject?
Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery.
Montgomery, in 90 seconds. Which regiment did Bernard Montgomery join after leaving Sandhurst in 1908?
Royal Warwickshire.
Yep, in which French village was Montgomery so seriously wounded in October 1914 that a grave was dug for him?
Veteran.
Yep. Who was made commander of the 8th Army in North Africa in August 1942, but was killed almost immediately, which led to Montgomery's appointment as his replacement?
Strafer Gott.
Yep. On which destroyer was Montgomery evacuated from Dunkirk on the 1st of June 1940?
Antelope.
Codrington. As commander of the South Eastern Army, Montgomery shared responsibility for the plans for the ultimately disastrous raid on the 19th of August 1942 against which French port?
Dieppe.
Yep. What was the code name of the operation at El Alamein that involved the 2nd New Zealand Division early on the 2nd of November 1942? The operation resulted in a significant breakthrough of Rommel's defensive line.
Supercharge.
Yes, after the failure of Operation Market Garden, Montgomery made it his priority to clear the approaches to which Belgian port?
Antwerp.
Yes, what's the name of the Tunisian city that was captured by Montgomery's troops on the 10th of April 1943?
Onfidaville.
Not Sfax. Which army officer became Montgomery's chief of staff in North Africa in 1942, continued in that post till the end of the war?
De Guingand.
Yep. Which American field army led by General William Simpson operated under Montgomery's 21st Army Group in the Rhine area during Operations Veritable and Grenade in 45?
Ninth Army.
Yep. Who was the Admiral and Commander-in-Chief of the German Navy who signed the instrument of surrender to Montgomery on the 4th of May 45?
Von Friedeberg.
Yep. In which city, now in Pakistan, was Montgomery teaching at an Army Staff College in May 1935 when it was hit by an earthquake that killed many thousands of people?
Quetta.
Yes, that is correct. No passes. Andrew, you have also scored 10 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Ross May,
Your occupation?
supervisor.
And your chosen subject?
The films of Powell and Pressburger.
Powell and Pressburger in 90 seconds. Which film, released in 1939 and set during the First World War, was the first film directed by Michael Powell with a script by Emmerich Pressburger?
The Spy in Black.
Yep. In 49th parallel, which German religious community in Canada unwittingly supplies food and shelter to the Nazi submariners?
Hutterites.
Yep. What specifically is the black narcissus in the film of that name, which Dilip Rai uses and claims came from the Army and Navy stores in London?
Perfume.
Yes. The film A Matter of Life and Death was released in America under what alternative name?
Stairway to Heaven.
Correct. In The Battle of the River Plate, Bernard Lee plays the real-life Captain Patrick Dove. He was the captain of which British merchant ship sunk by the Graf Spee?
Africa Shell.
Yes. Which dancer and actor appeared as de Jong in One of Our Aircraft is Missing and later choreographed the ballet for The Red Shoes?
Robert Helpman.
Yes. In The Red Shoes, Boris Lermontov first sees Victoria Page dancing solo for the Ballet Rambert during a performance of which ballet?
Swan Lake.
Yes. Which future Academy Award-winning director was the film editor on 49th Parallel and One of Our Aircraft is Missing?
David Lean.
Yes. What was the pre-war occupation of Sergeant Peter Gibbs in A Canterbury Tale?
Organist.
Yes, cinema organist. Who played the three roles of Edith, Barbara and Angela in The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp and later starred as Sister Clodagh in Black Narcissus?
Deborah Carr.
Yep. Which 1957 war film stars Dirk Bogarde as Major Lee Thomer?
Ill Met by Moonlight.
Correct. Powell and Pressburger's final film collaboration was the 1972 release The Boy Who Turned Yellow. Which cinema organisation was it made for?
Children's Film Foundation.
Correct. Powell and Pressburger's 1955 film O Rosalinda is an updated version of which Johann Strauss operetta?
Die Fledermaus.
Is correct. I'm afraid you didn't get 10 points. Instead, you got them all right, no passes, and you got 13 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Stephen Mark Rhodes,
Occupation?
barrister.
And your chosen subject?
Herbert Howells.
Herbert Howells in 90 seconds. In 1917, in which cathedral did Herbert Howells obtain the post of assistant organist, his first professional appointment?
Salisbury.
Yes. What is the name of the tune that Howells wrote for Robert Bridges' hymn All My Hope on God Is Founded?
Michael.
Yes. What's the title of the carol anthem that Howells said he wrote after he'd watched some trucks being shunted on the Midland Railway's Bristol to Gloucester line?
A Spotless Rose.
Yes. Which Tudor author wrote the poem Mary Margaret that was set by Howells in the song cycle In Green Ways?
Skelton.
Yes. What was the name of the clergyman friend of Howells who married him and Dorothy Dorr at Twigworth in August 1920?
Karen Cheeseman.
Yes. What is the opening line of the motet that Howells wrote to commemorate the death of John F. Kennedy?
Taking Earth for Cherishing.
Yes. Which honour did Howells receive in 1953 at the same time that his friend Walter de la Mare was awarded the Order of Merit?
CBE.
Yes. What biblical text did Howells juxtapose with the Sanctus in Hymnus Paradisi?
Psalm 121.
Yes. 10 composers were asked to write a choral piece for a collection entitled A Garland for the Queen to celebrate the coronation of Elizabeth II. What was the title of Howells' contribution?
Inheritance.
Yes. For which pianist did Howells compose a sonatina in 1971?
McNamara.
Yes. What was the occupation of the composer's daughter Ursula, who founded the Herbert Howells Society in 1987?
Actress.
Yes. Whom did Howells succeed as director of music at St Paul's Girls' School in Hammersmith after Vaughan Williams' brief period as caretaker?
Holst.
Yes. Which of Howells' teachers at the Royal College of Music insisted that he submit his piano quartet to the Carnegie Trust for an award?
Stanford.
Yes. No passes. 13 points. Well, what a round that was. Let's have a look at all the scores. In joint third place, 10 points apiece, Michael Ward, Pamela Cully and Andrew Craig. Joint first place, 13 points apiece, Ross May and Stephen Mark Rhodes. The general knowledge round now, and if there's a tie at the end of it, which there very well might be, then the number of passes is taken into account. And the person with the fewer passes is the winner, and if they are tied on passes as well, there will be a tie break. So let's get on with it and ask Michael to join us again, please. And you had what seemed a moment or two ago to be a very good score of 10 points. But you've now got the general knowledge round to recover and overtake. Here we go. Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw and Slytherin are the four houses of which fictional school?
Hogwarts.
Yep. The name of which animal means little armoured one in Spanish?
Armadillo.
Yep. What film role, previously played by Peter Cushing and Kenneth Branagh, among others, does James McAvoy play in a 2015 film?
Hamlet.
Frankenstein. What's the name of the subterranean cemeteries excavated beneath Rome that were composed of galleries or passages with side recesses for tombs?
Catacombs.
Yep. Which song by the Canadian rapper Drake featuring Wizkid and Kyla first topped the UK singles charts in April 2016?
Hotline Bling.
One Dance. Which decoration is awarded in the name of the American president to members of the armed forces wounded or killed in the service of their country?
Pass.
Which French painter and sculptor is buried on the island of Hiva-Oa in the Marquesa Islands, where he lived from 1901 until his death in 1903?
Delacroix.
No, Paul Gauguin. In most computer operating systems, which unit of information storage consists of 8 bits?
Byte.
Yep. By what name was Thailand known until 1939?
Siam.
Yes. An annual regatta or boat race has been held on the Thames River at New London, Connecticut since 1878 between Harvard and which other Ivy League university?
Yale.
Yep. What Italian term is used to describe pasta that's cooked so that it remains firm to the bite?
Al dente.
Yep. Which poem by Kipling opens with the lines, "By the old Moulmein Pagoda looking eastward to the sea, there's a Burma girl a settin' and I know she thinks of me."
If.
Mandalay. Which ship that carried Captain Scott on his first Antarctic expedition is moored in Dundee, where it's a big tourist attraction?
Pass.
What name is given to the star-shaped symbol used in printing or writing to indicate a cross-reference to a footnote or an omission?
Asterisk.
Yep. In which 2016 television series does the ambitious American attorney Chuck Rhodes try to bring down the hedge fund king Bobby Axelrod, played by Damian Lewis?
Homeland.
Billions. Which American pop rock band had one of the best-selling singles of 2015 with Sugar? It reached number 7 in the UK charts.
Pass.
No, well, I can tell you because we're out of time. It was Maroon 5. And your other passes, that ship that carried Scott on his first Antarctic expedition, the Discovery, and the decoration that you get if you're wounded in battle, Purple Heart. You have a total now, Michael, of 18 points. And now, Pamela, again, please. And you're another one of the 10-pointers, as it were. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. Here we go. What name is given to the annual series of concerts now held at the Royal Albert Hall that have been organised by the BBC since 1927?
Proms.
Yep. In Arthurian legend, what was the name of the artefact that was sought by the Knights of the Round Table and kept by the wounded Fisher King?
Holy Grail.
Yep. For which American state was Barack Obama a senator before his election as president in November 2008?
Pass.
Which Saturday afternoon television sports programme that ran from 1958 to 2007 was presented by Peter Dimmock, David Coleman, Frank Boff, Desmond Lynam and Steve Ryder?
Grandstand.
Yes. What Greek hors d'oeuvre consists of smoked fish roe made into a paste with olive oil, lemon and breadcrumbs?
Terra Salata.
Yep. Whose 2006 top 10 album, The Captain and the Kid, is a sequel to his 1975 album, Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirt Cowboy?
Pass.
Who won Best Actor Oscars for both Mystic River in 2004 and Milk in 2009?
Pass.
The banker and zoologist Lord Rothschild first described a large African animal on a visit to East Africa in the early 1900s and gave his name to a subspecies of it. Which animal?
Rhinoceros.
A giraffe. Which controversial administrator succeeded João Havelange as the 8th president of football's governing body, FIFA, in 1998?
Pass.
What term for a ploughman, or the heavy boot he wears, has become a byword for a clumsy, awkward person?
Oath.
No, clodhopper. Which Venetian painter who was born in about 1488 gives his name to a shade of bright auburn hair?
Tintoretto.
Titian. Which Chicago gangster retired to his Florida mansion after he was released from prison in 1939 and died there in January 47?
Al Capone.
Yep. What colour dot on a squash ball indicates the fastest ball with the highest bounce?
Blue.
Yes, the 2014 novel The Kill List is about a former American Marine who sets out to track down a radical Islamic cleric whose sermons inspire his followers to kill Western targets. Who's the author?
Pass.
The ancient Celtic festival of Beltane that celebrated the beginning of summer took place in Ireland and Scotland on the first day of which month?
November.
It might have been my name. Oh, it's May. You had 5 passes in all. Freddie Forsyth wrote The Kill List. Sepp Blatter succeeded João Havelange. We know where that led. Sean Penn won Best Actor for Mystic River and Milk. Elton John was the Captain Fantastic Man. And Illinois was where Barack Obama was a senator. You have scored, Pamela, total 16 points. And now Andrew again, please. And you also start with 10 points, Andrew. Let's see how you do with your general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. In tennis, what name's given to a winning serve that an opponent fails to touch?
Ace.
Yep, which appeal originally broadcast on radio, Christmas Day 1927, has taken over BBC One's evening schedule on the 2nd or 3rd Friday in November since 1980.
Red Nose Day.
Children in Need. In medicine, what name's given to a solution of a medicinal substance in an alcoholic solvent?
Tincture.
Yeah. Which river rises about 18 miles northwest of Dijon and flows in a northwesterly direction for about 480 miles before emptying into the English Channel at Le Havre?
The Seine.
Yeah. Which New Jersey-born hip-hop artist provides the voice of Ellie the Mammoth in the 2006 film Ice Age 2: The Meltdown?
Snoop Dogg.
No, Queen Latifah. In 2016, Riyad Mahrez became the first African player to be named the Professional Footballers Association Player of the Year. What's his nationality?
French.
Algerian. Which bird that takes its name from its orange-red flanks is the smallest true thrush found in Britain where it is a winter visitor?
Redstart.
Red wing. What abbreviation of I will comply was commonly used in signalling and radio communications?
Wilco.
Yep. Who resigned as Deputy Prime Minister in 2007 on the same day that Tony Blair announced his resignation as Prime Minister?
John Prescott.
Yep. In which Dutch city was the painter Jan Vermeer born in 1632? He went on to spend his entire artistic career there.
Delft.
Yes. Which Irish poet's works include The Lake Isle of Innisfree and Easter 1916?
Yeats.
Yes. Which two-piece rock group comprising the bassist and singer Mike Kerr and the drummer Ben Thatcher had a #1 hit with their self-titled debut album in 2014 and were named Best British Group at the 2015 Brit Awards?
The Kills.
Royal Blood. In Norse mythology, what's the name of the Hall of Slain Heroes, often said to be ruled over by Odin, the king of the gods?
Valhalla.
Yep. What name's often given to the chorus that ends the first part of Act 2 of Puccini's Madame Butterfly as Butterfly, Suzuki and the baby await Pinkerton's arrival?
The... Pass.
Ming the Merciless was the enemy of which boys' comic hero?
Flash Gordon.
Yes. By what name is the 18th century French writer and satirist François-Marie Arouet better known?
Voltaire.
Voltaire is correct. You have one pass. That's a chorus that ends the first part of Act 2 of Madame Butterfly, the humming chorus. You have, however, Andrew, now a total of 20 points. And now Ross again, please. And you start with 13 points, of course. And the score to beat has risen to 20, as you have just heard. So let's see if you can pass that in 2 minutes, starting now. In which ancient people's calendar were certain days of the month called Ides, Nones and Calends?
Roman.
Yep. The condor and the lammergeier are species of which carrion-eating bird?
Condor.
Vulture. What name is given to the charge sometimes made for allowing customers to bring their own wine into a restaurant?
Bring a bottle.
Corkage. Lady Ottoline Morell's affair with Lionel Gorm, a young stonemason who worked at her Oxfordshire home, is thought by some to be the inspiration for which controversial novel first published in 1928?
Lady Chatterley's Lover.
Yes. Which British film director won his second Palme d'Or award when his film I, Daniel Blake was named as the best feature film at the 2016 Cannes Film Festival? He
Ken Loach.
previously won in 2006 for The Wind That Shakes the Barley.
Ken Loach.
Yep. What term for a sworn statement made in writing as evidence in court comes from the medieval Latin for he has made an oath?
Affidavit.
Yep. In Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, what animals are used as the balls in the game of croquet? Flamingos are used as mallets.
Rabbits.
Hedgehogs. Which former member of the pop group Mystique won Strictly Come Dancing in 2007 and became a judge on Britain's Got Talent in 2012?
Pass.
Which American founder member of the pop art movement who died in 1997 is famous for presenting comic strip figures in large scale in a fine art format?
Roy Lichtenstein.
Yes. In which EU country did the Nationalist and Conservative Law and Justice Party come to power in October 2015 after winning a majority of seats in a parliamentary election?
Holland.
No, Poland. What is the only gaseous element whose name ends in IUM, a suffix normally applied to metallic elements?
Helium.
Yes. Which of Robin Hood's legendary companions was a miller's son?
Much.
Yep. Johnny Burrell is the singer with a chart-topping rock band that formed in London in 2002. Which band?
Pass.
What do the letters IQ stand for when used as a measure of human brain power?
Intelligence quotient.
Yes. In which country was milk chocolate first manufactured in 1875 by the firm of Daniel Peter?
Switzerland.
Yes. On which British island in the South Atlantic is Wide Awake Airfield that was built and used by the Americans in the Second World War and gained strategic importance for the RAF during the Falklands conflict?
Pass.
Well, I can tell you because you are out of time. Ascension Island is the answer. And your other two passes, Alicia Dixon won Strictly Come Dancing, and Johnny Burrell is the singer with Razorlight. You now have a total, Ross, of 22 points. And finally, Stephen, again, please. And you also started with 13, but the score to beat has been creeping up, and it stands now at 22. So here we go with 2 minutes of general knowledge. According to the song from the film Mary Poppins, how much sugar helps the medicine go down?
Spoonful.
Yep. What French term is used to describe a dish that's been sprinkled with alcohol and set alight before serving?
Blanc.
The flavour is enhanced and the alcoholic content is burned off.
Flambé.
Yep. What's the name of the jazz cornet player and trumpeter whose first studio bands were the Hot Five and the Hot Seven?
Chet Baker.
No Armstrong. What disability is addressed in John Milton's sonnet that begins, "When I consider how my light is spent"?
Blindness.
Yep. Rockefeller Center, Chrysler Building and the Empire State Building in New York City are examples of an art movement that originated in the 1920s and developed into a major style during the 30s. Which art movement?
Art Deco.
Yep. Who returned to his role as the scientist David Levinson in the 2016 film sequel Independence Day Resurgence?
Lev Sikwick.
Jeff Goldblum. A scale for the hardness of rocks based on what minerals in a standard set can scratch them. It's named after the German scientist who devised it in 1812. What's it called?
Liebig.
Not Mohs. The circuit for which series of motorcycle races is 37.73 miles in length?
Isle of Antietam.
Yep. What's the name of the grassroots political movement formed by John Landsman and others in the wake of Jeremy Corbyn's victory in the 2015 Labour leadership contest?
Progress.
Momentum. What four-letter combining form at the beginning of a word comes from the Greek for many?
Poly.
Yep. Mount Elbert in Colorado is the highest peak in a range of mountains that extends down the western side of the North American continent. Which range?
Rockies.
Yep. The name of which dark wood used for furniture comes from its sweet scent when it's freshly cut?
Sandalwood.
Rosewood. Which Scottish city provided the setting for the long-running television series Taggart, which ended in 2011 after 28 years?
Glasgow.
Yep. Sir Francis Drake's raid on the harbour at Cadiz in 1587, during which he destroyed numerous ships destined for the Armada, has been popularly described as singeing the King of Spain's
beard.
Yes. In which city do the Albert, Framwell Gate and Prebends bridges span the River Wear?
Durham.
Yep. Which singer, who's known as the People's Tenor, sang at the Nou Camp Stadium in Barcelona before Manchester United's 1999 Champions League final against Bayern Munich?
Alfie Bowes.
It was Russell Watson.
Ah.
And you have a total of 23 points. Well, what a close contest that turned out to be. Let's have a look at all the scores. Fifth place, 16 points, Pamela Cully. Fourth place, 18 points, Michael Ward. Third place, 20 points, Andrew Craig. Second place, 22 points, Ross May. First place, 23 points, Stephen Mark Rhodes. Which means, of course, that Stephen is tonight's winner and he goes through to the grand final. Congratulations to him, and if you would like to be a contender in the next series, do go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us on Twitter @mastermindquiz. And do join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.